homogamy, right? People talk about hypergamy, women marrying up, hypogamy, women marrying down. Not too many people talk about homogamy, which is what people usually do. Women usually marry people in the same socioeconomic status as them. So poor usually marry poor, middle class usually marry middle class, wealthy usually marries wealthy, right? So if you look at the show, Cliff and Claire, both their parents were performers, like, and made good money. So both of them grew up in the same socioeconomic class. They both grew up middle class. Now, when they grew up and became a doctor and a lawyer, they moved up. They both moved up together into upper middle class. They're not considered wealthy. They're considered upper middle class, which is cool. And that's usually what happens. Look at history. Royal families marry who? Other royal families, or like a prince is going to marry a princess. Homogamy. Wealthy rich people marry other wealthy rich people. Families marry other rich families. That's called homogamy. Um, that's usually what happens. I mean, especially because they can't move any higher, so it makes a lot of sense. But then you get and then sometimes, like, so in the situation with Sandra and Elvin, Sandra is upper middle class, Elvin is middle class, which is like only a slight difference. But it's kind of big when it comes to money because they both went to Princeton, but uh, Sandra, her parents paid for her education. Elvin had a wrestling scholarship, and then he ended up moving over to an academic scholarship. So, and then when he went to med school, it was her parents that paid for his med school. But it was okay. She kind of did marry hypogamy slightly, but they knew he was going to move up into their socioeconomic class, so it really didn't matter. And now together, because he's doing his thing as a emergency medicine doctor, and she's becomes a lawyer. So still in the same socioeconomic status, which is what you could hope for. Most of the time, that's what you could hope for: homogamy versus hypogamy. When if you have a daughter, so like even for me, I'm considered middle class. I hang out with middle class people, so I'm like whatever. But do you think I want my daughter to marry hypogamously? No, either homogamously or hypergamously. Now, like Sandra and Elvin, you see if the dude is a little bit below her, but I could see his potentially moving, or even if he's poor, he could be freaking start out from a poor family. But if you see he's getting his education, or even he's doing something in life that's exceptional, he's being exceptional, and he's even if he's just moving into the same class as us, I'm gonna be grateful that she get a guy like that, even if he's not there yet. But if he's not even looking like he's moving in that direction, no, I'm gonna be like, you can do that, but it's not gonna turn out well for you, and that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, you learn a lot when you watch the Cosby Show. But that's just just something I want to put out there. Give me your thoughts in the comments.